Hello, Hollidaysburg High School. This is Kurt Mosier here, coming to you live from the Kansas City area. I wanted to talk to you a bit and maybe encourage you. Your teacher, the wonderful Ms. Everett, has asked me to say a few words to you during this time where you have been not meeting. You've been virtual, and we've been virtual for quite some time, and it looks like you're still going to be virtual for a while. So I got some things for you to think about. A little bit about what I'm up to these days. I am still writing music. I am, of course, not conducting live. You can kind of see on my computer screens behind me a bunch of young faces. These are faces of some of the orchestras with the Kansas City Youth Symphony. They are making virtual performances, and I put them all together here in my studio, both the sound and the video, because I can do all that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm doing here in my Beat Laboratory right now. Okay, I'm going to talk to you about trying to stay motivated and seeing what's up with you during this strange time that we find not only in our lives, but in the whole country, everything that's in the world, what's going on. So I'm going to give you three basic areas. Number one, students could say, I've lost my desire or my desire to want to play my instrument or practice. Number two, I'm lonely. Number three, I feel restless. I just kind of feel anxious and don't know what to do with myself. So let's dive right in. Number one, I've lost my desire to play my instrument. Well, I have some things for you to think about that could help you. First of all, you could set up online easy quartets, duos, trios with your friends and buddies, and you can do that with the Upbeat Music app. I've found that to be a great app. What you do is you all play to a little click track. You can upload your own track to play to with your friends, and then you all kind of count off and you play on your own in the studio, and then within a few seconds it makes it into a video with all of you. At first, when you start doing, oh, by the way, make sure you wear headphones when you do that, because it won't work playing it over live computer speakers. But when you do that, it's fun to see how bad you are or how good you are. And there's some pretty amazing high school players making some quartets and stuff across the country with Upbeat Music app that are really good. So it might be a fun thing to play. Number two, on you've lost your desire to want to play, discover ways to have fun with music. Like try some free software for multi-tracking and see if you can play simple duets with yourself, or try doing some soundscape type things with yourself. Try to figure out chords and things that you could play on your own on the recording apps, and share it with your friends. Number three, you could do some internet research on areas of your playing that you would like to improve. For example, you could find videos about vibrato or bowing techniques or anything like that, and find examples of maestros playing it or people really going somewhere with it. That could be a lot of interesting fun for you to learn to develop. Notice how in all of my ideas I'm having you take charge of your learning. When I close today, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. Number four, you could try a couple of online lessons and try to take from a teacher that you've heard of or that you've done some research about that's out of your state, maybe even out of your country, out of your region. Just see what it's like to take an online lesson with someone, and don't worry about what they think of you or how you sound, or if you're not perfect. Just go for it and see what happens. You might find something really exciting for you. Here's another one. Try to learn how to practice through online research and really break down what you want to learn. For example, if you really want to learn bow coordination with your hands, start doing some research on it and start really figuring out how you could practice and break down what you want to accomplish. And then the next thing you would do is try videotaping yourself. Taping, that sounds really old. Use your phone, whatever, video yourself playing something that you feel like you play well, and then watch the video back and act as your own teacher. A funny story, I used to play basketball with all these great players on Sunday nights, and I thought I was really good. Now, the reason I got to play was these guys were professional athletes, and the reason I got to play was I was kind of athletic, but I had the keys to the gym because we could get into the gym because I could get into the gym. And so one night I set up a camera and filmed the whole thing because I was thinking I was great. And when I looked back on that video, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm stiff. I missed that pass. I got the ball stolen here. I look like a robot out there compared to these professional athletes. And I thought I was great. Actually, after watching that video, I did quite a few things better the next week. Well, that's how we can all do it. It's basically looking in the mirror. So make sure you're your own teacher. And then last thing on this thing about I don't want to play my instrument is make small measurable goals for yourself and really go after it. Now this all goes into taking charge of your own learning, because it's really not until we take charge of our own learning that we really begin to retain and go after it. It's what I call the in to out system, and I'm going to end our little time together with that in to out system at the end of talking today. But really make small measurable goals. I want to play measures 4 through 16 and be able to do it at this tempo. What do I need to be able to do that? And if you make videos of yourself and break it down and take charge of your own learning, all of a sudden you're seeing yourself become a better player. And when we finally get back together and get to make music in groups, people are going to notice how much better you are. Awesome. Okay, here's number 2 overall. I'm lonely. This is a little tougher area to talk about. Now we get into kind of armchair psychology here. Okay, here's some idea. Number 1, be proactive and set up online meets with your friends. You might even tell them discussion topics, so you're all just not tuning in and you don't have anything to talk about. Like, for example, you could set up one session, say, okay, everybody research the best dad jokes, because I'm an expert at dad jokes, and we're going to all tell each other dad jokes, and no one can actually smile unless you actually found it funny. And just do some fun things like that with your friends. Try to figure out creative ways to interact with your friends. Here's another one. Set up outdoor meets with your friends to either walk or jog somewhere, so you're spaced apart. But if you're not a walker or a jogger, you might try it. It's especially if you find a beautiful trail with streams and bridges and whatever. Go that extra mile to try to set up some time that you could meet with your friends. Now here's something where you could be proactive to help somebody that could be even lonelier than you. Ask your online teachers if there's anybody that's new in the class that's new to your school district. And then ask them, invite them to meet with your friends online or something. Just let them watch or sit in and just watch you guys talk to each other. Because I can guarantee you, if you just move to a new district and you're all virtual and you're not meeting anybody, that is a lonely feeling. All right, and then one more in this area of lonely. Make sure that you're interacting with your family at home. If you got issues with brother, sister, mom, or dad, make sure that you're the peacemaker so that you can really begin to enjoy one another. Also, think of yourself as a sponge that's out of the bowl. Because see, a sponge that's stuck in a bowl, when water pours into it, the water gets in the sponge and never leaves because there's a bowl. Usually the bowls in our lives are anger, bitterness, resentment, holding on to those things. If you'll just take that bowl away and let what comes in go out, you'll be more open to good things in your life, and that involves getting a healthier mental outlook on things. So make sure that you forgive first. Make sure that you change what you're thinking first. Okay, number 3, I feel restless. This would be me. And that's probably why I brought this up, because I feel restless all the time. Now this, you're probably not gonna like this. Hey, make your bed and clean your area up. If you're feeling restless, first of all, make sure you clean the space that you're living in and get yourself organized and feeling good about where you're at. Matter of fact, just the act of doing that will kind of just chill you out a bit. Make sure you're organized and clean. Even if you take pride in your dumpy, frumpy, whatever you call it, your cluttered mess. I'll tell you what, growing up, my daughter, she needed this advice a lot. Her bedroom was scary. Well, actually, so was my youngest son's. But so take care of your area and clean it up. And now here's a tough one. If you're not exercising, that's going to be a real issue. Because people who are really intelligent, but they don't exercise, that's like having a giant dinosaur type head with a little bitty spindly body. Well, your big genius brain will fall over and bruise itself if you can't even do anything physical, or you're not really circulating the old blood and being healthy. So what I would say is start exercising. Now, if you don't exercise at all, go outside and start walking or jogging. Do something that isn't so much skill-based or knowledge-based. Like when I say knowledge-based, I mean like lifting weights and stuff like that. You need a trainer with you and things like that. But go out and start getting your aerobic shape going and make an effort to wear yourself out. I find that when I've really worked hard or worked out hard, ridden my bike forever or whatever, I feel better about myself, and I'm tired and I sleep better. So that's definitely something. Number 3, do not mindlessly eat. Do not be a chip eater. Do not sit on the couch and eat chips all day. Matter of fact, don't even eat carrots all day. Don't mindlessly eat, because number 1, it's going to make it so you don't feel like you want to do anything. Your body's going to be full of all this junk. It's not going to feel good. Junk in, junk out. You want to take care of yourself. Do not mindlessly eat. Watch your diet and see if you can get yourself feeling good about your diet and what you're doing. Do not be a junk food junkie. Junkie is the key word there. And then here's a kind of a touchy area on the 4th one. Explore your faith, or explore why you have the beliefs that you do. Start exploring what your faith or what your beliefs are, and see if you can find some meaning there. Talk to family members. Take even if it's boring to you, take 10 to 15 minutes a day to explore where you're at, why you think the way you do, why you believe the way you do, and start really taking a self inventory. Okay, those were some, basic ideas for these 3 key areas, but really is this. If you want to have a special life, and if you want to be special, then you need to be special every day in the little things. If I want to be a special player, I need to start taking steps that make me special. By being special daily, all of a sudden, our life becomes special. By being lazy and blah every day, our life becomes lazy and blah. At first, if you're really doing it well, your life is full of vibrant colors. Think of your life as a painting. It's almost Picasso-esque. It's full of color. But if you start just kind of backing off, it becomes pastel, which is still pretty. Pastel colors, it could be impressionistic, whatever. But then if you just keep backing off, it starts getting into grays and fading out, and before you know it, you're just a blasé canvas of nothingness. Do things that make your life special and invest in yourself. Don't just sit and say, oh, I feel bad. No, you're gonna have to be proactive with this, because if you've ever heard the old cliche that says, what is it? Let me think. It's about it's about being positive. I can't remember that cliche. I'll think of it in a moment. But really, basically what I said, if you want to be special, start doing it now. Now let's end with this idea of in to out thinking. Okay, I want to be a better violinist. Is that completely up to your teacher, Miss Everett, to make you the better violinist? Well, she can certainly encourage you. She can inspire you. She can do all these things that will, and she, by the way, she does. She's a great teacher. She can do all these things. She can be the role model for you. But unless you begin to want it from in to out to the world, it's not going to really matter, because you're not going to have the discipline, only what we call external discipline. We need internal discipline that goes out to the world. By the way, that's one of the definitions of becoming an adult. When you become self-motivated and you don't have to have somebody saying, hey, you should practice to try to make yourself better. Hey, you should want to get good grades. Hey, you should want to succeed in life. That comes from in to out. Now let's take some outward. If someone has no discipline, or they just want to do what they want to do, what happens is there are consequences to that behavior, and that's usually out to in behavior. What would be one of the worst consequences from out to in? Being arrested by a police officer. If you couldn't control yourself or motivate to be responsible, it could be being out to in behind bars. Yes, behind bar, because that means that's a person that had to be caged because they couldn't even control themselves or be motivated into out to do the right thing. So what I'd like you to do is take some time and think about, how can I become an inward to outward person and spread it around with positivity. Well, I hope some of this helped you. I hope it helped you maybe want to be a better musician, better person. Start thinking about these things introspectively, and I guarantee you, take charge of it. Don't sit around and mope about it. Take charge of it and see what you can do. Don't try to take a giant step all in one day. Take little bitty measurable steps that you can measure your progress over time in all of these areas, and I guarantee you'll become a better person and more well-rounded. I hope this helped out some of you. Now let's go practice.